on exacerbating this. He actually wants conflict, who is intentionally inflaming and lying to make it seem like there's a war going on here. Trump wants it to seem like anarchy, so he goes around our governor and he calls in 4,000 troops from the National Guard and 700 active duty Marines.
Hey, Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of...
He held the Bible upside down. Have you ever seen someone look more confused holding a book? But here's the kicker. That photo op wasn't just awkward, it was a sales pitch. Discover how Trump turned faith into a cash cow, selling branded Bibles and charging for selfies. The hypocrisy is priceless. Or maybe it's $100,000 a plate. You decide. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Trump holding a Bible upside down wasn't a slip of the hand. It was a business move. You remember the moment, right? During the 2020 protests, he shuffled awkwardly over to St. John's Church, held up a Bible like it was a prop from a high school play, and didn't even bother saying a prayer. This wasn't divine inspiration, it was $ motivation. It was Trump doing what Trump does best, selling an image. Now, let's not pretend this started with the Bible stunt. Trump's relationship with religion has always been, let's say, complicated. The man couldn't quote a Bible verse to save his life. And when he tried,
he wants there to be a war going on here, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in it. There's no riot outside. We have more so-called unrest here when one of our teams wins a championship.
A lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last night we gave them a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now.
Remember, he had them turn on that great big faucet that put all the fires out.
They met with a very heavy force, and if they weren't, you would have that city right now would be on fire. It would be burning down. The rest of it, what's left over.
We got gems like 2 Corinthians, a phrase no church-going person on earth would ever say. Attendance? Forget about it. He's been to Easter services less than most people visit the dentist. But somehow he became a self-proclaimed champion of religious America. Spoiler, it wasn't for the faith, it was for the fundraising. Take the Trump-branded Bible, for example. That's right, you could own a Bible blessed by the Trump empire at one point. Nothing says spiritual enlightenment like slapping your name on scripture and treating it like a luxury handbag. And what about the faith dinners at his properties? 6 figures were charged for plates of food in the name of religious fundraising. But let's be real. Those hefty price tags weren't about God. They were for Mar-a-Lago's chandelier lighting and overpriced shrimp cocktails. Looking at the numbers, Trump raked in millions from evangelical voters and religious-themed merchandise, while religious leaders backed him with a loyalty that came with financial perks. Kimmel nailed it when he said, "It's not about saving souls, it's about saving his bank account." And honestly, if a televangelist ran on steroids, it'd probably look exactly like this. Shaky promises, emotional manipulation, and cashing in on belief? A match made in heaven, or at least Trump Tower. But what's a hustle without a team? Trump didn't act alone in this holy scheme. There was a whole cast of characters cashing in too. It's time to talk about his enablers. What do Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, and Rudy Giuliani all have in common? They're not just Trump's cheerleaders, they're his business partners in the faith for cash industry. Let's start with Ted Cruz, once Trump's loudest critic. Back in 2016, Cruz called him a pathological liar who doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. A pretty strong statement from a man now willing to wax poetic about Trump at every possible chance.
But that's not what you're seeing on TV. Someone sets a fire in a garbage can, 12 camera crews go running toward it. You know, when we had the wildfires that devastated big chunks of our city, he did absolutely nothing. Now that we're in the middle of a non-emergency, send in the National Guard. No, when it will be calm and sunny and 70 degrees, just like it is right now. What a hero. You know, he's always saving our city from burning. Last time we were burning, back in January,
Cruz didn't just flip the script, he flipped it, rewrote it, and submitted it as an audition tape. Jimmy Kimmel even joked Cruz might have had spine removal surgery after Trump spent the entire 2016 campaign mocking him and his family. Fast forward, and Cruz was offering to argue Trump's election fraud case at the Supreme Court. A last-ditch, embarrassing, and genuinely despicable attempt, as Kimmel put it. But hey, loyalty to the big guy has its perks. Then we've got Josh Hawley. His January 6th fist pump is practically meme history at this point. And no, that wasn't a dove of peace he was throwing up. It was more like Hawley headlining the conspiracy circus that day. He was signaling to the crowd, capitalizing on their emotions, and cementing himself as a megastar. His moves weren't about principles, they were about profile. And let's not forget Kevin McCarthy, whose opinions change faster than Trump makes golf trips. One moment, he's condemning Trump's role in the Capitol riot. The next, he's sipping cocktails at Mar-a-Lago. Talk about a flip-flop you could hear from space. Kimmel pointed out that McCarthy's shift wasn't about new information. It was about staying on Trump's good side and keeping his own career intact. Of course, Rudy Giuliani deserves a shout-out too, mostly for the comedy value he provides. Kimmel joked, "The less said about his dripping hair dye and 4 seasons total landscaping press conferences, the better." But Giuliani's role wasn't just ridiculous, it was calculated chaos, pushing election lies to keep Trump's narrative alive. Trump and his cronies didn't just turn lies into power, they turned them into profit. Kimmel dubbed their Stop the Steal campaign the most expensive bedtime story ever sold, because while supporters believed they were donating to democracy, Trump was cashing the checks. These guys aren't enablers, they're investors. Trump's actions, paired with his enablers' loyalty, paint a clear picture of how easily power can corrupt. It's not just about bad decisions, it's about exploiting faith and fear for personal gain. Trump didn't just see supporters, he saw dollar signs. His enablers followed suit, flipping principles faster than a carnival magician. Kimmel's monologues drive home a simple truth. This isn't saving souls, it's saving wallets. Next time someone offers salvation, check the price tag, because faith shouldn't come with a receipt. Kimmel's jokes make us laugh, sure, but behind every punchline is a reminder. Look past the show and find the scheme.